Hey everybody, it's Travis speaking. Today we're going to take a look at using a couple applications from the Design Academy suite. We're going to look at AutoCAD 2012 and Revit Architecture. And so what we want to do today is show how you can import 3D geometry created in AutoCAD to make life a little bit simpler in Revit. So to illustrate this, we're going to make a 3D picture frame, and we're going to import that into our BIM model, and then we're going to apply a decal to it, which essentially is just a graphic or a raster image that illustrates a picture, a piece of artwork, a sign, what have you. So to start off, we're going to use this rectangle as a sweep profile or a sweep path, and this is the profile we're actually going to use for our picture frame. So it's got a nice curvy profile. So to do this, we need to make this profile perpendicular to our sweep. So we'll type in RO, and as you notice, you get some commands pop up that all start with RO. So we'll choose Rotate 3D, and we'll pick the bottom line of our profile. We'll specify 2 points. This is going to be our rotation axis. And then we'll put in 90 to flip this up. So I'll go into isometric view, and I'll place our profile along the path. Now the next thing I'm going to do is perform a sweep. So to do a sweep, you can type in SW, and again you'll notice that the command finishes off, so I'll hit enter, and it says select objects to sweep. So I'm going to select my profile, I'll hit enter again, and then it says select the sweep path. So now you notice that we've got a frame. So we can flip that around back into different view, and we'll change our visual style to see how that looks. So this would be the flat side, and there you have the sweep profile. So what we'd like to do now is add a material to that so we get a nice wood finish look to it. So I'll come over to the render tab, and I'll select the material browser, and if I type in cherry, I should get some nice wood finishes here. So we'll choose cherry light, and we'll just drag that swatch over onto the frame. And then the next thing I want to do is just create a box that I can use as a canvas once I bring this over into Revit. So I'll go from corner to corner, and I'll give that a height of 1/4 of an inch. We'll just switch the orientation so that when we bring it in, it works perfectly and we don't have to do any manipulation in Revit. So we'll type in RO again and choose our Rotate 3D command, and I'll pick 2 points again to define a rotation axis, and I'll type in 90. And then if we flip this around, we should see our frame exactly the way we want to see it. So just to make sure I got that axis right, I'm just going to do a couple things. So as you can see, that frame is just a little bit in front of the piece that's going to be the canvas. So what I'm going to do is grab that piece and just move it in a little bit. That should be good. I'll just verify one more time, and that's about right. So we'll save this file as an AutoCAD drawing, and we'll call it Frame Profile 3D. Now if I come over into Revit, you see I've got one that's already prepared, but I want to show you the process. So I come up into the Insert tab, and I go to Import CAD, and it gives you a dialog box. So you choose your 3D file, and in colors you want to choose preserve colors because you want that material to stay on there, and leave layers as all because we did everything in one layer. And then we'll leave our import units as inches because this is an imperial drawing or BIM model. And then for positioning, I'm going to choose base point and leave it at top of footing. So we'll select open, and you can see that the frame follows my cursor around. So I'm going to put it right over here, and it disappeared. So I know that it might not be in height where I want it. So I'll go into a section view. Oh, there it is. So we'll move this frame up into that view. We'll go back to floor plan. And what we're going to do now is rotate it 90 degrees so that it sits on our wall. We'll just place it close, and then I'll use the arrow keys to nudge it into place. So I'll go back to that section view and see where it's sitting. And it's still a little low, so we'll use those arrow keys again, bring it up a bit. Oh, we might have gone too high now. So just bring it back down a little bit more. And that looks pretty good. So now what I want to do is apply a decal or a graphic. So to create a decal, I come up here in that same insert tab and use the drop down menu in the decal options and say decal types. And it gives you a dialog box to create a new decal. So I'm going to hit the create new decal button. I'm just going to call this iDesign. And then it gives you some options here. So we're going to go choose our source file. And I'm going to use this logo image that we've got. And brightness I'll leave at 1. And I'll leave the bump amount at 30. But I'm going to change the bump pattern to none. Now if I change the brightness to 0, it's just going to be a black image. So I'll leave it at 1. If I change it to anything else, it's going to fade it out. So I'll say OK. And now I'll come up to the place decal. And I'll place my decal right there in the corner. I'll hit escape because I don't want to place any more than 1. And I'm just going to leave a tiny little white border around this. I might have to leave a bigger border, but I'm just going to resize this to fill up the space. Then I'll use that same nudge option to center it. So I could have done a better job at sizing my picture frame here, but it serves the purpose. So now I don't see the decal in this view, but if I come down to my 3D view, I'll let that generate, and I do a quick render of this view, I should see that iDesign logo graphic on that picture. So I'm just going to resize this so it goes a little bit quicker. I'll hit the render button. And do a quick render with the settings that we've already got. So now you can see we've applied our graphic to the picture frame and added a little bit more decor to this living room in the basement. So that's adding a decal and importing some 3D geometry into Revit.